Good morning, everyone. Welcome again to our sessions. Hopefully that we have everything ready. We have our pens, paper, pencil, everything that we'll need for today's session. All right, so today we will be looking at containers and measurements. All right, so today we'll be looking at containers and measurements. All right, yesterday we were looking at capacity and volume. It is still the same thing, but we'll focus more on the objects today and the calculation. All right. All right, let's go ahead and start. All right, the things to know. All right, when you take a reading on a measuring jug, all right, if you're looking at this picture, here we have a cup, right? So when you take a reading on a measuring jug, it is important to have your eyes at the same height than the level of the liquid, right? When you take a reading on a measuring jug, it is important to have your eyes at the same height than the level of the liquid, right? So why do you think this is important? If we can quickly write on the chat box, why do we think it is important to have our eye at the same level height of the liquid that we are measuring? Why do we think this is important? So yesterday we did an estimation. So why do we think this is important? Quickly write your answers on the chat box. So we can estimate, right? Yes. So we can get the exact measure, right? So that you know how much you are putting. That's right. All of the answers are correct so that we can estimate and get the exact measure so that you can know how much you are putting, right? That's all the answers are correct, okay? It is important so that we are able to see how much exactly we are putting into the container, or we are able to see and estimate how much is in the container, right? Okay, now let's move on to our next slide. Okay, so here we have a syringe, right? The picture above shows the actual size of a small syringe. So a small syringe is 5 milliliters, or rather has a capacity of 5 milliliters, right? The volume depends on the amount that is needed. The volume depends on the amount that is needed, okay? So what do you think the capacity of this? Oh, good Lord, I've already gave that away. But anyway, what do you think the capacity of the syringe is? So we're answering A. The above picture shows actual size of a small syringe. What do you think the actual capacity of the syringe is? I already gave that away. If you were listening, yes, and it's 5 milliliters. 5 milliliters. That's correct. The capacity of the syringe is 5 milliliters. And how much medicine is in the syringe? How much medicine is in the syringe? All right, a lot of people saying 3 milliliters. Can we look closely? Can we look closely to the syringe? Can we estimate where 3 is? And look at 4 and look at 2, and then give the answer. Because if you're looking closely, that's right. You don't have the full name, but it appears as DMC. That's right. It is 2.5 milliliters. It is at 2.5 milliliters and not at 3 milliliters. All right, because if you're looking at the syringe, right, the liquid moves right up, right till the half of 2, right? You have your 1 milliliter, 2 milliliter, right in the middle between 2 and 3. Then you have your liquid measurement. It is 2.5 milliliters. The correct answer is 2.5 milliliters, right? Okay, that is why it is important to look, to make sure that you are looking at the container and the level of your eye is right just above the, or rather at the same level than the liquid, so that you are able to see. You see, even though you have your measurements, you still need to look very closely to your container measurements. Okay, right, let's move on to our next slide. All right, so here there is 14 milliliters of medicine in syringe A, right? We have 14 milliliters of medicine in syringe A. What volume of medicine is in each of the other syringes? What volume, we're looking at the volume, right? What volume of medicine is in each of the other syringes, right? So how are we going to get to know that? We know that for the syringe A, we have about 14 milliliters, right? We have about 14 milliliters. All right. So what is the measuring capacity of each syringe? We have A, we have B, or rather, let's first answer the first question. What volume of medicine is in each of the other syringe? Let's answer that question first. What volume of medicine is in each of the other syringe? We know A, we're looking for B, C, and D, right? We're looking for B, C, and D. Make sure you are looking for the capacity first and then answer the question. Make sure you read the capacity on each of the syringes, read the capacity, and then answer the question. Okay? All right, for A, okay, when you answer, please make sure that you indicate which syringe you are referring to, because I see 12 and 14. All right, JD says D, it is 4.5 milliliters. A, is it A? 20 milliliters. Right, we are looking at the volume, guys, right? What volume of medicine is in each of the other syringe? So when you're answering, please write B, the answer, C, the answer, and D, your answer, so that we can be able to read exactly what the answers are. Okay, 1 milliliter. Okay. Or is it 1.1? I have 1.5. I have 14. I have 1.1. All right, at A, we're not looking at A because you already given for A that we have 14 milliliters of medicine in that syringe. So the answers we're looking for should reflect B, C, and D. The answers should reflect B, C, and D. All right, for C, someone is saying we have 13 milliliters. For C, all right, we have 13 milliliters for C. Right, 13 milliliters is correct. All right, 13 milliliters, which is C, it is correct, but I'm looking for B and D. We're looking for B and D. Okay, I have 1.2 for B. Can I have answers for B? And then there's 1.1. D is 4.5, which is correct. 4.5 milliliters. D is 4.5 milliliters, but let's look at D. Sorry, B. Let's look at B. I have 1.6 milliliters, 1.6 milliliters. 1.2, 1.5, 1.2, all right, it is 1.2. 1.2 is the correct one for B. 1.2 is the correct one for B, okay? So what is the measuring capacity of each syringe? What is the measuring capacity of each syringe? What is the measuring capacity for each syringe? For A, it is 20. Yes, Shakira. Measuring capacity for A, it is 20. Yes, Mthodi. All right, and for B, it is 2 milliliters. That's right, 2 milliliters. And for C, it is 20 milliliters. Yes, right, 2 milliliters for D. And for D, it is 6 milliliters. That's correct. Okay, I see someone saying, ma'am, I don't understand. All right, we are answering here. Question 4A. We are answering question 4A. What is the measuring capacity of each syringe? All right. So we're looking at syringe A, B, C, and D. We were first looking at the volume, all right, which is the amount of the content inside the container, right? And then we now looking at capacity, which is the amount that the container can hold, right? The amount that the container can hold, right? Okay. Yes, you can ask question, JD. You can ask your question. All right, well, JD is going to be typing his question on the chat box. Let's look at the, for each syringe, right? For each syringe, state how much more medicine can be drawn into, how much medicine can be drawn in to fill it up to its measuring capacity. All right, JD, you can write your question on the chat box. I will look into it. You can write your question. All right, so the question we're looking at now, the rest of us, for each syringe, state how much more medicine can be drawn in to fill it up to its measuring capacity. All right, we're looking at A. For A, we have about 14 milliliters of medicine. How much more can be drawn in to fill it to the capacity? And we said the capacity is 20 milliliters. So how much more can be filled in, or rather can be drawn in to fill it to up to its capacity? All right, can we focus on the question? For each syringe, state how much more medicine can be drawn in to fill it up to its measuring capacity. Remember how we did it yesterday, right? The capacity is 20 milliliters, right? Capacity is 20 milliliters, and the medicine inside is 14 milliliters. So we want to know how much can be drawn in for A, right? We're looking at A. So you'll say capacity is 20 milliliters, right? The content inside is 14 milliliters. So you write 20 milliliters minus 14 milliliters, and your answer will be 6 milliliters of medicine that can be drawn in to fill syringe A to its capacity. Yes, there's the other line. There's the other line, but correct, there is another line, right? There is another line above it. There is another line, but we are looking at 20, right? So we don't, because, okay, let me explain this. All right, all right, I'm trying to get to all your questions. All right, JD says, ma'am, B, each line is equal to 250 because there is 4 lines, so the answer is 1.250 milliliters. You're referring to the previous question. So, JD, you're referring to the previous question, I assume, which was for the capacity. All right. I'm trying to get to each of these comments here. All right. Yes, Zana says 20 milliliters minus. Yes, the correct answer is 6 milliliters. Correct answer is 6 milliliters, right? Because to fill it up to 20 milliliters, you have to add 6 milliliters of the medicine, right? And for B, let's look at B. B has 3, not 4 lines. Okay, I think you're answering someone else. All right, can we focus on the question? Can we focus on the question? Because I don't want us to lose focus. Right, we already answered for A and for B. How much more medicine needs to be drawn in to fill it up to its measuring capacity? Right, take the total capacity minus the volume. Take the total capacity and minus the volume, and that will be your answer. All right, I think you're being confused with the lines in between the numbers. You're being confused with the lines in between the numbers. All right, for syringe A, I see you have 1, 2, 3, 4. And then for syringe B, you have 1, 2, 3. And for syringe C, you have about 9 in between. All right, I see where the confusion is, right? If you're looking at A, let's look at syringe A, right? We are told that we have 14 milliliters of medicine in syringe A, right? So we have line that is marked 10 milliliters. And there's the first line and there's the second line. In the second line, we are told it is 14 milliliters. So for it, we will count 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, right? Let's look at syringe A, right? Let's look at syringe A. For syringe A, we are told that there is 14 milliliters of medicine in syringe A, right? And now, looking at the lines, let's start counting from 10. Let's start counting from 10. From 10, we have here's 10, right? 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 milliliters, right? Are we following? We're doing question B. We are doing question B. The question is, for each syringe, state how much more medicine can be drawn in to fill it up to its measuring capacity. And we've already answered A, and we said it is, we need to draw 6 milliliters more, right? And we are looking at B, right? We're looking at B, syringe B. How much more medicine needs to be drawn in for it to be filled to its capacity? Remember, we said it is up to 2 milliliters. So how much more medicine needs to be drawn in to fill it up to its capacity? We already answered syringe A. We are looking at syringe B. Please switch off your camera, Isaac. Syringe B. Syringe B, please. Okay, I see people saying 1 milliliters. It is less than 1 milliliters. It cannot be 1 milliliter. It is less than a 1 milliliter. It is 0.8, right? Is 0.8 milliliters. It will be 0.8 milliliters because I'm thinking of time. We've been stuck on this question and we have more slides to go. So looking at syringe C, how much more medicine do we need to fill in? How much more medicine do we need to fill in for C? We're looking at C, we have capacity is 20 milliliters, volume, it is 13 milliliters. So how much more do we need to fill it up? How much more medicine do we need? 7 milliliters. Thank you, Shakira. It is 7 milliliters. All right, and looking at syringe D, we have 4.5 milliliters of volume and we have 6 milliliters of capacity. How much do we need to fill it up? 6 milliliters minus 4.5 milliliters. Thank you, Shakira. It is 1.5 milliliters for us to be able to fill it up to its capacity. All right. So which syringe contains the most medicine? Which syringe contains the most medicine? You can answer A, B, or C, or D. Which syringe between A, B, C, and D contains the most medicine? The correct answer is A. The correct answer is A, right? We're looking at the size of the capacity, right? Syringe A has 20 milliliters, right? So 20 milliliters obviously is bigger than 6 milliliters. So we have 14 milliliters of medicine inside that syringe. So A has the most medicine inside, okay? So first compare the capacity and then compare the volume. So A is the correct one. A has the most medicine inside the syringe. Okay. Right, let's move on to our next slide. All right. Okay, for these ones, we have measurements, we have different containers, right? So what we'll be looking at is the measurement. Is the volume. What is the volume of liquid in each of the measuring cups below? And what is the capacity of each cup? So we'll first look at A. We'll say what is the volume and what is the capacity of cup A. Then we'll move to B, C, and then D, right? So we're looking at A. What is the volume in cup A? And what is the capacity for cup A? Right, I see 200, I see 500. I did, JD, answer your question. I did answer your question, baby. All right. If we're looking closely on cup A, right, it is just below the 200 mark. It is just below the 200 mark. Capacity, yes, it is 500. It is 500 capacity is correct, but the volume, let's look at it closely. It is just below the 200 mark. So yes, estimating, because remember we said we must look closely. Estimating, it is 190, right? Correct answer is 190 milliliters. Okay, looking at B. Looking at B, let's look at B. What is the volume and what is the capacity of cup B? What is the volume of cup B and what is the capacity? That's right, 420, and the capacity is 500. Correct one is 420. I told you between 410 and 420, it is 420. Right, capacity is 500. Let's look at C. Let us look at C. 280 volume, milliliters, capacity 500, right? Let's look at, okay, I don't know maturity, 410 for C, but the measurement is below 300 milliliters. Answer there would be 280 milliliters, and capacity is 500. So let's look at D. Let's look at D. I see 350, 370. We are looking at D. Someone is saying 380. 350, 380, 350 milliliters. Look very closely to this cup. It is right in the middle. The measuring volume is right in the middle. It's between 400 and 300 milliliters. If you look closely, right? Look closely. You'll see that it is right in between. Right, I was going to say 370. Oh, I see also there's 360, there's 370, 350, 350, 350. All right, the correct one is 350. Okay, correct one is 350. All right, these are the measurements that we looked at yesterday, right? So remember for today, we're about to do our calculations. So ml is a symbol of milliliter. ml is a symbol of milliliter. L is a symbol of a liter. KL is a symbol for kiloliter. And 1000 milliliter is the same as 1 liter. 1000 milliliter is the same as 1 liter. Also, 1 liter is the same as 1 kiloliter. Right? This is what we did yesterday. So this is just to remind us that 1000 liters is the same as 1 kiloliter, and 1000 milliliters is the same as 1 liter. And the symbol for kiloliter is KL, symbol for liters is L, symbol for milliliters is ML. Okay. Okay. All right. With which unit, milliliter, liter, or kiloliter, will you measure the following? With which unit will you measure the following? You have your milliliter, you have your liter, you have your kiloliter. Salt for dough of 10 loaves of bread. So we are measuring salt. So which units will you use for salt? Milliliters is correct. Milliliters is correct. Remember we said milliliters is a smaller measure for small amounts of objects or materials, right? So milliliters is the correct answer. Okay. And then for B, water for the coffee flask. Water for the coffee flask. A liter will be used, right? For the coffee flask, we will use a liter. Okay. All right. C for petrol. For the car, liter. That's correct. We will use a liter. And D for the water bath. Water for the bathtub, sorry. Water for the bathtub. Okay, I see people going for kiloliters. And remember we said a kiloliter equals to 8,000 liters. A kiloliter equals to 8,000 liters. So for bathtub, we will use liters, right? For bathtub, it will be liters. Okay, and then for E, water in the Val Dam. Water in the Val Dam, it will be kiloliters. That's the correct one. Correct one will be kiloliters. And then for F, a dose of cough mixture. A dose of cough mixture. Milliliters is the correct one. Thank you. Milliliters is the correct one. Okay, let's look at the next slide. All right, learn the following well. All right, we have 1 liter and we said equals to 1,000 milliliters, right? So 5 liter will also equal to 5,000 milliliters, right? And that 1 kiloliter will equal to 1,000 liters, right? So if you have 6 kiloliters, it will be 6,000 liters, right? Let's look at this very carefully for the next exercise that we'll be looking at. We said 1 liter equals to 1,000 milliliters. So if you have 5 liter, you will have 5,000 milliliters. And that 1 kiloliter equals to 1,000 liter, right? 1 kiloliter equals to 1,000 liter. So if you have 6 kiloliters, that will equal to 6,000 liters, right? Okay, so let's answer the following question, right? Let's answer the following question. Okay, so how many cups of 250 milliliters do you need to fill a 5-liter bucket with water? How many cups of 250 milliliters, do you need to fill a to fill a 5-liter bucket with water? Right? Let me look at the answers. Do we multiply? Do we divide? Someone is saying 20 cups. How did we get to 20 cups? How did we get to 20 cups? Did we divide? Did we multiply? Did we subtract? How did we get to, can someone write the full calculation? How did we get to 20 cups? Because I see everyone is writing 20 cups, 20 cups. How did we get to 20 cups? Okay, 20 cups, all right. All right, let's move to B. Everyone is agreeing on 20 cups. Okay, so JD says 240 milliliters times 4. So 4 times 5 equals 20. All right, let's move to B. We'll see the answers. We have the answers on the next slide. So let's move to B. How many buckets of 5-liter each can you fill with water from a full 2 kiloliter water tank? How many buckets of 5-liter each can you fill with water from a full 2 kiloliters water tank? 4 buckets, 4 buckets. Right. Okay, but can we please show the calculation? Okay, 4 buckets, let's move. Everyone is agreeing on 4 buckets. Let's move to B. How many 20-liter tanks can be filled from a dam that holds 6 kiloliters? How many 20-liter tanks can be filled from a dam that holds 6 kiloliters? All right, Mathodi says 300. All right, anyone else? Mathodi is saying 300. We're saying how many 20 liters of tanks can be filled from a dam that holds 6 kiloliters? Okay, Litukusha, I assume you're answering B with 4, but we're looking at C now. How many 20 liters can be filled from a dam that holds 6 kiloliters? Right, Isaac says 350. Matlodi says 300. Okay, waiting for anyone else to answer before we go and view the answers. Okay, let's move 10 buckets. Okay, if you are answering 1, I would assume Sukadile, because now we are looking at tanks. We're looking at C. All right, let me reveal the answers. Let me reveal the answers, right? Okay, so this is how, for those who did not know, this is how we got to 20 cups, right? So the question was, how many cups of 250 milliliters do you need to fill a 5-liter bucket with water? Remember, we said 5-liter equals to 5,000 milliliters. So for us to get to 1,000 milliliters, we will have to multiply 250 by 4. So we'll say 250 milliliters multiplied by 4 equals 1,000 milliliters, right? So now we must fill 5 buckets. So we will multiply our answer by 5, right? So we'll say 1,000 multiplied by 5 equals to 5,000 milliliters. So we'll say 4 multiplied by 5 equals 20, right? So that is how we got to 20 cups. Okay, so the second one is, how many buckets of 5-liter each can you fill with water from a full 2 kiloliter water tank? Right? So we said 1 kiloliter equals to 1,000 liter. and therefore 2 kiloliters will be equal to 2000 liters, right? So we have 5 liters and we have 2 kiloliters of water tank, and we've converted it to 2000. So we divide 2000 by 5, and the answer is 400 buckets, right? 400 buckets and not 4 buckets. Remember, kiloliters equals to 8,000 liters, right? So we say 1,000 kiloliter equals to 1,000 liters, 2 kiloliters equals to 2,000 liters, right? So we've converted the 2 kiloliter tank to 2,000 liters, and therefore we will divide. We are using liters, right? So we know that we're measuring with the bucket of 5 liters, right? So we'll have 2,000 liters divided by 5 liters, and that will give us 400, right? Therefore, we will have to fill it with 400 buckets, okay? So you must always remember, kiloliters equal to 8,000 liters. 1 liter equals to 8,000 milliliters, right? So always use the information that you are given. Okay, so the correct answer is 400 buckets. Move on to our next slide. All right, the question was how many 20-liter tanks can be filled from a dam that holds 6 kiloliters, right? So we know 1 kiloliter equals to 8,000 liters, sorry. And 6 kiloliters equals to 6,000 liters, right? Therefore, we'll say 6,000 because we want to know how many. Remember when we're doing division and I said these are the type of questions that you have to look at, right? So here we are asked how many 20-liter tanks can be filled from a dam that holds 6 kiloliters. Then we are converting our kiloliters to 6 liters, sorry, to liters, and then we'll have 6,000 liters divided by 20 liters because they're asking how many 20-liter tanks, right? So we're not multiplying, we divide, and the answer will be 300 liters, right? Therefore, we'll have 300 liter tanks that will have to be filled for the dam to, sorry, that will have to be used to fill the dam, okay? So it is 300 tanks, okay? Right, so here, how many 5 milliliter spoonful will fill a 250 milliliters cup? How many 5 milliliter spoonful will fill a 250 cup? Let me look at the chat box. 66%, 2 over 3, 50. The correct answer is 50. Adele has the correct answer, and Shakira. Okay, moving to B. A 1 liter container holds 1,000 milliliters. A 1 liter container holds 1,000 milliliters. How many 250 milliliters measuring cupful will fill the container? 4, that's the correct one. Remember, we're dividing. So we know that measuring cupful is 250 and liter equals to 1,000. Therefore, we divide 1,000 by 250. The correct answer is 4. How many 5 milliliter spoonful do you need to fill a 1 liter jug? How many 5 milliliter spoonful do you need to fill a jug? 200. Right, you guys are so brilliant. So here are the calculations. Right, correct one was 50 spoonful. That's correct, and we needed 4 measuring cups for B, and for C, the answer is 200. It will be filled with 200 spoonfuls, right? All right, thank you so much for your time. Our class has come to an end. Um, you guys have been great. So tomorrow we'll be doing a revision. We have completed our work for second term, and then hopefully next week we'll start with term 3, or in 2 weeks time we'll start with term 3. But as from tomorrow we'll be doing a revision for those who missed out in our previous classes. So this will be your time to catch up from tomorrow. And also prepare yourselves for assessment. I will probably give you an assessment. I will tell you when you have the assessment, but you must prepare yourself. But we'll first do the revision and then look at the assessment. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, feel free to email them to my email, abongolo@gmail.com. Do enjoy the rest of your day. That was it from me. Goodbye.